Good morning. So lovely to see you all this morning. My name is Rob Thacker. I'm the music director here. And today's program, as you may be, if you didn't know already, is mostly St. John's Choir. But we're going to begin by singing 398, our December gathering hymn. Please rise and embody your spirit to see the world.
I invite you to join me in reciting the words of our chalice lighting. We light this chalice as a symbol of our free faith. We light this chalice to remember the miracle of the oil that burned for 8 days. We light this chalice to mark the nights of midwinter. We light this chalice as we wait for the sun to return. Good morning. I'm Reverend Jenn Gracen, the interim minister here, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to St. John's Unitarian Universalist Church. Today is a very special service. It's one of our 2 choir services. We do this in part as a reflection of how much we value music. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow once said, "Music is the universal language of mankind." And Sarah Dresden says, "Music is the great uniter, an incredible force, something that people who differ on everything and anything can still have in common." A warm welcome in particular to visitors today, both in person and online. This morning, St. John's is proud to be a welcoming congregation. We seek to be a spiritual home for all as we honor and value the racial, economic, cultural, age, physical ability, sexual orientation, and gender diversity of our members and visitors. There are many great things happening at St. John's. Please review your order of service, and you may want to check out the TV in the lobby or bulletin boards in our fellowship hall. Now please put your cell phones into church mode. And again, welcome to St. John's. We're going to do our announcements early today so we can dive into the music. So, as always, look at your order of service. That's where we find the announcements. Kate Spencer is here. Is she in the room? Kate Spencer is going to be here today after the service to talk to anybody who's interested in learning more about her art that is on the wall. And it's Debbie.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Debbie Potochnik. And oh, yes. Is that all right? Most of you know Nikki Orlman and that she is living in Landfair while recovering from a stroke. I have been visiting and working with Nikki recently as she is no longer receiving therapy through Landfair because they say she has plateaued. but she hasn't. She continues to make gains with help. Nikki is extremely motivated, excuse me, and making progress in her recovery. Donna Lilly, a longtime friend of Nikki's and a physical therapist, works with Nikki weekly, but this is not enough. If you would like to work with Nikki, Donna would be more than happy to meet with you and show you some things to do with Nikki to help with her recovery, as she did with me. Nikki is learning to talk and walk again. If you plan to visit Nikki, please show up to work with her. If nothing else, she loves to sing along with you, which is amazing, since she does have trouble with normal speech. We encourage you to learn at least a few things that you can do with her. For this, she is always incredibly grateful. Please see me, email me, call me, whatever, for more information. Thank you very much.
Morning, everyone. For those that I don't know, I'm Joetta Pro. I'm the president of St. John's Board, and I feel badly, all people behind me here, but I'll talk to all of you. Matt Cooperthwaite and I are going to be sending you an email this week. It's not an e-news, it's just a special email. And that email is going to give you a bit of an update about the capital campaign, the master planning team, and the work of a group that we've called the Both And discussion, where we're talking both about addressing our deferred maintenance kinds of issues and making improvements in our building that we want to make, and doing that in a way that is financially feasible for us, and how we can bring together those multiple pieces to make a plan. So we'll send you an email. We wanted to just sort of alert you to that. And you're always welcome to send us questions. Thank you.
Let's sing, shall we? Please rise in body or spirit and sing hymn 236, O Thou Joyful Day, which I made a note, it's a Sicilian melody from 1792. That note maybe will make more sense when we get into the rest of the program, but 236, O Thou Joyful Day.
I invite you to join me in reciting our affirmation, which you can see up on the screen. This is the mission of our faith, to teach the fragile art of hospitality, to revere both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to witness to all that we must hold the whole world in our hands. Each week at St. John's, we honor the experiences of our lives in our ritual of stones for joys and concerns. Here we do this by placing stones representing what we carry into the sand that represents our community over all the generations we have existed. If you would like a joy or concern to be read, please leave them on the table. And if you're online, you can put your joy or concern into the chat, and we will read it from the pulpit music stand. We have several spoken joys and concerns today. We have from Nikki Giovanni, the activist and poet who spent some of her childhood in Cincinnati and died this week at 81. Embrace the change, no matter what it is. Once you do, you can learn about the new world you're in and take advantage of it. Mistakes are a fact of life. It is the response to the error that counts. That's from Martha. Linda Linker is having a knee replacement on February 4th and would appreciate the loan of a walker. It's very practical. I think we might have one here. You should talk to me after. Today Mira Rodwin is 88 years old. Her Alzheimer's is advanced, but with effort, she can recognize Edie and her daughter. This one says, joy that my mom raised me to be loving first and to help me remember that joy this first Christmas season after she passed over the Rainbow Bridge per her decision to go with her cats. And I don't see any online ones. I invite you to hold that for just a moment of silence. Amy Munson is going to share with us our story for all ages today.
Good morning. I'd like to invite any children up here to the front or adults, and the book will also be on the big screen. So if the kids could have a seat here in the front, that way they can see both things. Thank you. Thank you. The story today is We Celebrate the Light by Jane Yolen and Heidi Steppel. Diwali is a Hindu celebration. When the days get shorter and the night sneaks in early, we celebrate the light. Winter solstice is the shortest day of the year celebration. When we gather together, we celebrate family. When we tell our stories and sing our songs, we celebrate the earth's turning. Christmas is a Christian celebration when we decorate our doors, windows, chimneys, and houses. We celebrate our homes, where we live today, and others that hold memories. When we look at pictures of those who come before us, we celebrate love and loss. Hanukkah is a Jewish celebration. When we play our games, we celebrate joy and friendship and togetherness. When we set our tables, filling our plates with feasts that our ancestors ate, we celebrate sweet and the bitter unity and separation, bountiful harvest from the rich soil. Hanukkah is an African and African American celebration. Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. When we honor traditions, we celebrate our people's long history, the good, the bad, the losses, the gains, and the hopeful days to come. Bodhi Day is a Buddhist celebration. When we say our prayers, we speak to the Almighty, to the ultimate, or Mother Earth, and to our own loving hearts. Lunar New Year is an Asian celebration. When we go to bed after the feast, after the day of prayers and remembrance, after the celebration, we wake to a lighter day, a bigger heart, and a world that holds us together once again. We celebrate the light. Thank you.
With all the singing, I kind of forgot to keep the singing the children back. They're going to stay today, but they're just going to sing back over there. So, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. If you didn't catch the theme for today yet, we're trying to celebrate different holidays and things around the world. The hymns that we've chosen, the pieces that the choir is going to sing, we've tried to represent. Obviously, we can't represent all the things that were in that book, and it's going to have a kind of a Christian tilt to it, because that's kind of a lot of the hymns that many people in this room, their traditions are. But I hope you really enjoy it, because I think it speaks to the things that speaks to people's hearts and souls at this time of year, and the things that bring that light into our lives as we then celebrate that return of light, because we're trying to find some warmth for those of us that live in cold climates, some warmth during this time. So with that, I'd like to have a reading. This is a congregational reading from our book. So I'll read the small print, and then please respond, congregation. So, with mounds of greenery, the brightest ornaments, we bring high summer to our rooms, as if to spite the somberness of winter come. All creatures bend to rules, even the stars constrained. We make a holiday, the rituals varied as the hopes of humanity. With that, members of the choir are going to introduce different sets or different pieces. You can open up your hymnals to 239, because that's what will be the next thing, but I'm going to hand the microphone to Edie Holder, who will be introducing our first set. Edie's right here, so I won't be handing the microphone to Edie.
We're just going to stay right there. Good morning. So, having begun our musical journey with a hymn from Sicily, we traveled to Africa and its influence. Africa and those brought west via the diaspora were converted by missionaries. However, their message resonates with their music traditions. Go Tell It on a Mountain is an African-American spiritual whose message is inspired by the biblical narrative found in the 2nd chapter of Luke. The shepherds spreading the news of Jesus' birth is akin to proclaiming it from the mountains. African Noel is based on a Liberian folk song called Manua. Noel comes from the French word meaning news. Sing the news. Chante Noel. Sing Noel. The text of the Virgin Mary had a baby boy is also taken from Luke chapter 2. For this song, there are two origin stories. One, it was transcribed in 1942 by Edric Connor from the singing of 92-year-old James Bryce from Jamaica. The second story is that it was written by a Jamaican singer-songwriter, Oswald Dunbar, in the early 60s, and that he adapted it from a folk song entitled Livy's Song. This song was later adapted by Pete Seeger.
Please rise and bow your spirit and let's sing hymn 239, Go Tell It on the Mountain. going to acknowledge our guest musicians on that one. We had Manuel Suzeraret on the percussion, Liam Cornoli on our bass, Amy Martin doing the shaker, Jeannie McAllister fluting, and of course, Stephen on piano. Fantastic, thank you.
We'll now be entering the Hanukkah portion of the evening, or morning. We'll first be singing the hymn Hashivenu, a Jewish prayer which means return us. We'll then be singing the piece Light the Legend, written by Michael Isaacson, a composer, conductor, educator, and producer. He has written over 600 Jewish and secular musical compositions, along with 50 produced CDs and album recordings. He has been honored as one of the 10 most influential living composers of Jewish music. There are 2 sets of lyrics for the piece. The Hebrew lyrics are written by Rabbi Stephen Rubin. They are a nod to ancient times, with talk of victory in battle, burning sands, gold, and singing hallelujah. The lyrics that we'll be singing are the English lyrics written by Susan Nuremberg. They talk about flashing candles, gleaming tapers, sparkling facets, shining beacons, basically a whole bunch of light references. Enjoy.
We'll do that one afterwards. So we'll get there, I promise. Please rise in body or spirit, unless you're the choir, have a seat. But please rise in body or spirit. We're going to sing 216. We'll sing it all through once in unison, and then we're going to try this whole 1, 2, 3 part thing. 1, the choir will help out. 2, should be amazing because it's the most people. And 3, okay, so here we go. Sing it all together once through.
We now take a moment to accept your offering for the work of this beloved community.
And now for something very different.
Hello. We're going to step away from the Jewish traditions and into some much more Catholic type things here for the next song. Our next piece is O Nata Lux by American composer Morton Lauridsen. It is part of his acclaimed 5-part Requiem Lux Aeterna. All 5 movements have sacred Latin text with the theme of light. O Nata Lux has 5, 6, and 7-part harmonies that create the impression of shimmering light. Morton Lauridsen is a retired professor from USC, and besides being a brilliant composer, he has been described as a true mystic. Worldwide, Lauridsen is the most performed American choral composer. We hope you enjoy O Nata Lux.
Latvia's Christmas celebrations are closely linked to the pagan solstice celebrations that came before them. Andres Johnson, who arranged our carols today, was a Juilliard graduate, an accomplished composer and conductor, but was proudest of his 40-year tenure as the music director of the New York Latvian Choir. Today we are singing his arrangement of 3 Latvian carols. The first one is Christmas Night, a peaceful, hymn-like carol that describes a lovely Christmas evening in the woods, snow, stars, and sounds. The second, translated as The Seeker's Road, presents a tender image of winter in the dawn that reminds the poet of the rose of Christmas love. And the third, translated as O Mistress of the House, is my personal favorite. Masked revelers, dating back to the Roman tradition of the Winter Saturnalia festival, would go door to door singing, dancing, and acting silly, similar to our Halloween trick-or-treat, and wassailing in other countries.
know I need to sit for a second, so I'm going to let the choir sit for a second.
The year is 1945. And in Southern California, there's a brutal heat wave. Try again. The year is 1945. There's a brutal heat wave in Southern California, specifically in Hollywood. A songwriting team of Jules Stein and Sammy Kahn decided they might make it better for themselves if they could write a song about cold weather. So what they produced was the song, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. The July heat wave led to this song, led to the first recording of it by Vaughn Monroe, which issued forth, published in November of 45. Well, what else was going on in 1945? The answer was the end of World War II. World War II in Europe ended in May. World War II in the Pacific ended in August. And so through that last 6-month period of 1945, millions of our troops were coming home to reestablish their lives. My father was one of them. So as they were entering their first Christmas home, this is the song that was on the radio. I think of it that way as I sing it.
I was like, where'd the mic go? We're not going to sing a congregational hymn. Hymn 257. 'Twas in the moon of wintertime. How many of you have sung this hymn before? Awesome. Glad to know it'll be a hit. But a little history. So this one, I think, is one that maybe somebody could be like, this is a kind of a complicated history. By some records, it's probably the earliest Christmas carol composed in North America. This was it's a collaborative, because somebody wrote it all the way back in like I wrote it somewhere, 1643. And this was a Jean de Brebeuf, I don't speak French. But he was a Jesuit missionary to the Huron and Wendat Indian, Native Americans. And so his early efforts at evangelism were fairly unsuccessful, shocking. But he had a lot of hardships, and he did end up converting quite a few people, quite a few of the Huron and Wendat people to Christianity over his many years' mission. I think an interesting thing is in whatever form we receive this carol, it is an artifact of a missionary who, through incomprehensible hardships, because he ended up being killed because the Iroquois and the Huron ended up having a fight, and he was on one side and then ended up getting martyred, if you will, or killed at least during that conflict. And so he was recognized by the Catholic Church for all those things, but it also speaks to the complicated history that we have here and around the world, to native people, the coming in and saying, hey, here's a different idea, and that journey. But we're going to sing this hymn with that spirit. It might be a little tricky at the end, but we're going to do our best. So, 'twas in the moon of wintertime. Please rise and body your spirit. Our final piece that the choir is going to sing was written by Stephen. Not the words will be like, oh, I've heard this before, because it's a combination between Silent Night, O Holy Night, and a little Spanish carol, Duérmete, Niño Lindo, which is in our hymnal. Okay? As many of you know, Silent Night was first performed on Christmas Eve in 1818 in Austria. Stille Nacht. It wasn't in English then, right? And it had been written by the priest, Father Joseph Moore, and then he went and asked Franz Gruber, who was a schoolmaster in the area, to compose a melody for it. O Holy Night was originally in French, Cantique de Noël. It was obviously been translated to English, and that's how we usually sing it here. But also was a commission, if you will, for a Christmas service, for Christmas Eve service, and it's become one of the most beloved hymns as well, along with Silent Night. And then we have this contrast with this lovely little Spanish lullaby. When you think about the experiences that you've had in your life and the traditions that you brought into this holiday season, they come from generations and generations, different cultures, different heritage, different traditions, different spaces. And I hope we've done a reasonable job at capturing that feeling today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. But for me, it's really kind of brought this desire to reconnect with the things that have made me me. I have a lot of traditions, and I don't know how, they go back all the way to various places in Europe and all these other places. But all of us are connected. All of us are connected somewhere back along this genealogical journey. And may we all find that connection through our traditions and through our love for the seasons and things that we celebrate. The choir will now sing Tender and Mild, written by Stephen Ferragamos. Thank you for coming. That was fun. That was fun. I had fun. I'm going to take a nap now. Let's go ahead and end by reading together this congregational reading, number 653, Reflections on the Resurgence of Joy. How short the daylight hours have now become. How gray the skies, how barren seem the trees. But there is that in me which reaches up toward the light, and laughter, bells, and carolers. Because it speaks the truths of older myths. And babes are hope, and saviors of the world, as miracles abound in common things. Rejoice and join in the gladness of Christmas. Thank you. Stay for coffee.